Hey everybody, Drew here for DrewDat Games, back with episode number 40 for the DrewDat Games podcast, or what I try to pass off as such. Today I'm going to open things up a little bit differently than I normally do, given that I've been watching the Greg Gutfeld show and whatnot lately. So I'm going to try my hand at an opening monologue for these things going forward and see how the reaction to that goes. So here we go, folks. So, when we have a company who's so afraid to reveal the price for their product, like Bethesda, we have another company like Sony who is seemingly ripping off everyone else because they don't have a creative bone in their body. And people wonder why I do this. It's not because I want to, but it's because I feel like I have to. So between a Mario Kart knockoff and basically about a week away from the launch of Skyrim 10th anniversary and not knowing the price, welcome to the mysterious world of video games, folks, where information is few and far between, and all you can do is speculate because go fuck yourself. Welcome to the DDG Games podcast. Joining me on today's episode is the usual, the only one that ever joins me, which is probably the way it should be these days. He is effectively, what's the best way to put this? The yin to my yang, except for we're both either yins or yangs at the same time. He is the libertarian to my libertarian. He is the Marcus Phoenix to my whatever the other character in Gears of War was anymore. It's Desert Nord, guys.
Yes, hi. Let me just say we're not all that different. we're a pair.
Yeah, we're a pair, but we're basically, 6 years apart. We act like twin brothers sometimes, except for we're 6 years apart and we're obviously not identical.
Uh-huh.
Desert Nord is as close to being my twin brother as I am to his as that we'll ever get, except for we're 6 years apart, which means that we're obviously not twins of any kind.
Yeah, different enough, but so similar people would understand right off the bat that we are indeed brothers.
Yeah, because talking to one of us would be like talking to the same person again, except for the second person obviously looks a bit different. And probably walks a bit different too. But anyway.
Sure, that was my point. Like, different enough for you never to mistake the two of us, but similar enough for people to be like, yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah, because if you ask one guy's opinion on politics, don't waste your time talking to the other brother at that point. Because you're just going to get the same thing, just worded differently. But it's the same outcome, I guess. Same thing goes in gaming, which is exactly why we're here. So, with that being said, today we're going to be reviewing the state of play that happened on October 27th. And going over that. PlayStation Plus has actually been confirmed, and I was wrong on what games we were supposed to be getting, so we'll get into that. But some supposed pathways to finding out how much Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition is supposed to be, which comes out like in 7 days or so. And we still have no confirmed price point for it, but there's pathways to figure out what it might be.
They love doing that crap.
Yeah. And also previewing and talking about Call of Duty Vanguard, which comes out this Friday. However, if you see the ad here, if you pre-ordered it, you can play the game as soon as tomorrow. Because at the time of the recording of this, it's the 3rd, and this is slated for November 4th at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So basically, in the evening tomorrow is the soonest that if you pre-ordered Call of Duty Vanguard, you can play it, supposedly. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till Friday because I intend to, well, I'll get into that at the end because I have notes on what my plans are for it. But with that being said, anything else to add before we get into State of Play?
I don't think so.
And I will get into my streaming schedule when I talk about Call of Duty Vanguard 2 at the end of this. So stay tuned for that too, guys. But with that being said, the only things I wrote down from it are basically 3 things to note. Otherwise, it was boring as fuck.
Yeah, that was what I got too. It was like, if you were excited from this, then your expectations were really low.
My expectations were, as we said in that episode of the podcast here on the channel, of we need to see like a release date for like some of these high profile games like soon. We didn't even get a mention that they even existed in this.
Yeah, there was no useful information on any of that, yeah.
And largely this was like a woke fest joke. As like some of the members of my community on Twitch were pointing out when I was playing games on live stream like right after the event was over. Which I immediately did to talk with them, and some of them were basically in agreement going, yeah, I tuned out as soon as I saw like that one woke game and whatnot. One person said in my chat, and I'm like, I don't blame you. I would have too if I weren't taking notes for the podcast on YouTube as well. But with that being said, the first thing I've down is Bug Snacks DLC, which is a free update. I missed its release date, so I don't have that because I was watching it live at the time.
Yep.
But yeah, Bugsnax getting free DLC apparently, so I guess that's a good thing.
Never mind.
I still have to play through the game.
I was gonna say, never mind the elephant in the room with that game is that it's horrifying.
To a degree.
No, it's horrifying. It's like they went out of their way to make a game that's like kid-like, but absolutely horrifying.
But yeah,
if you are.
But you have to go around eating bugs the whole time, even though the bugs are actual food.
The concept of eating something and literally gaining its traits. This is like
terrible.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not illogical, but I don't want children thinking this is how life works.
Because it's not. Because if it worked like that, I would be made of chicken patties, barbecue sauce. Well, I would bleed barbecue sauce at that point. I would also be made of burritos. My eyes would be made of sour cream. It'd
just be hilarious.
I would be made of curly fries, burritos, and barbecue chicken and pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, and my hands would be Cool Ranch Doritos, so they would easily snap.
I mean, I guess on the bright side of this whole thing,
yeah,
the one thing they could get out of it is that eating animals isn't entirely absurd.
Yeah.
Like their parents might tell them. their woke ass parents.
Yeah.
Because their woke ass parents will be like, oh no, you have to be vegan, honey. And then they'll play the game and be like, oh my god, I didn't even know you could eat animals.
Yeah, so with that said, yeah, Bugsnax is getting free DLC. Next thing I have
I
down.
managed to make everything political, don't I?
Yeah, as usual. Five Nights at Freddy's is getting a new game called Security Breach. This actually does look interesting and might actually compel me to actually give that series a try for the first time.
Yeah, it was definitely a Halloween special, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's all I can say about this game because I don't really know what else to expect from it.
Yep.
But on that note, the final thing I have down from Sony State of Play is Kart Ride Drift. It's a free-to-play game coming out next year in 2022 and completely fucking looks like a Mario Kart knockoff on a level that I don't remember ever seeing before. Bro?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a knockoff of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Like, I won't say low effort knockoff, but people will tell. People can tell.
Yeah, just by looking at the trailer and with... First of all, some of the tracks look like they were lifted from another kart game entirely that was recently announced.
Have you ever seen that meme where someone's like, let me copy let me copy your work, but don't change it a little so it doesn't look like I copied it.
Yeah.
That's basically this game.
Basically, it's the code of Mario Kart, but with maps from another Mario Kart knockoff, so it doesn't look like they're trying to rip it off, but with the functionality of like some of the stuff and some of the driving mechanics from the trailer we saw, it looks like it's knocking off literally every karting game that ever came before it then. But most famously Mario Kart, because it's the most popular one.
Look, borrowing features is fine. It's not like
no
company is allowed to make a karting game because Mario Kart exists.
But when it looks like you're literally lifting levels from other games,
yeah, it's kind of
that's how it looked to
pathetic, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, this State of Play got an F from me. Not the worst grade it could get. That's an F minus, but it was a failure. Failure from the very beginning.
Being inspired, I definitely didn't come away.
Yeah, because
with any.
Because like I was saying at the top, members in my community that follow me on Twitch, that chat with me when I play games, were going, yeah, this was woke garbage. I don't disagree. So.
Yeah.
Sony continues to go.
Than there was anything else.
Yeah. Speaking of Sony, PlayStation Plus games or the Instant Game Collection for November. For PlayStation 5, there's Knockout City, which is that dodgeball game that has recently come out. For PlayStation 4, Kingdoms of Elmer Re-Reckoning. Yeah. Which actually I have the original for the 360, so I will be playing this on a PlayStation Plus Friday stream. At some point, which reminds me I gotta download this stuff to the PlayStation first, so I can do this on Friday on YouTube. So that means there's gonna be 2 streams I do Friday: Call of Duty on Twitch, and then this on YouTube. So I'm gonna be busy on Friday after work then.
Yeah.
And also for PS4, First Class Trouble.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I've seen some gameplay. I mean, it's not too inspiring to me, but I have particular tastes, you know.
And also, which is a surprise to me, there are 3 PlayStation VR games, which, first of all, among PlayStation owners, not a lot of people have a PlayStation VR, first of all. And of those people, I'm willing to bet that a minority of those people that own one are still playing it, are still using it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that there's 3 games, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, Sony. When you could be, like, for example, for PlayStation 5 owners, for the people that have them, give 2 PlayStation 5 games and give 2 PS4 games, much like Microsoft does with Xbox One and Xbox 360 games, even now, with the Series S and X supposedly being out. But I digress, and I've already said a lot on that in the past, so I won't do that again here. But it is what it is. But the PlayStation VR games are, first, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and then, the fuck did I write here? Presence or something like that, and then Until You Fall.
Yeah.
Take that for what it's worth. For those that actually own a VR, neither one of us do, and Noah doesn't even have a PlayStation. So.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be a Sony pony. So.
Well, it's not a matter of being a Sony pony. It's about covering like whatever you can, wherever you can. Well, for me anyway.
I also don't I don't consider myself much of a game journalist either. But
well, I'm not actually. First of all, that's another thing that crossed my mind while watching the Greg Gutfeld show recently. Calling these people journalists is degrading to journalists, but also I've been calling them activists. As it turns out, I'm of the mindset now that that's degrading to actual activists.
Well, yeah, you do gotta wonder how legitimate, how serious, how much they really mean it.
So therefore, I'm gonna call like IGN now and other entities like that basically don't actually cover what they should. Basically, I'm gonna start calling them game asshats.
Well, there's this
thing
though.
For lack of a better term.
There's a term that already exists though for someone taking advantage of something that's controversial or popular for the sake of views or popularity or attention.
Well,
it's called a grifter.
It's okay, so I'll just call them game grifters then. But I still like asshats better.
No, I know it's better. It punches lower, so that's nice. But for accuracy's sake, they are grifters. Someone who's not even serious with their activism, but only does it because they know it'll get them clicks and views or whatever, it's just a grifter.
Except for it really doesn't. It just turns people away, and then they wonder why.
No, I know. It does. It totally backfires, but that's just them being stupid.
Speaking of being stupid, Bethesda. Bethesda has been very quiet about Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition, much less how much it's going to be sold for, if it's even going to be sold physically, or what the fuck is going on with it. But a recent report that came across my desk like moments before I hit record, or even brought Desert Nord in here to start recording this. Bethesda has been quietly, according to reports, raising the price of Skyrim Special Edition, that being the one that's available for Xbox One and PS4, as well as on Steam, to back up to $39.99 full retail price across all retailers. Is this an indication of the price of Anniversary Edition then? Meaning, does this mean that Anniversary Edition is going to cost $60, or is it going to cost $50, or what here?
I very much hope that they don't try and jam $60 price onto everybody for the same game they've already owned for years.
But if Skyrim is back up to $40, at the minimum, then they would be selling this for $40 then.
Yeah, well,
at that point.
See, like we talk about what's a fair price, and we talk about what's a steal, and we talk about what's a ripoff, and there's a scale with every game. And of course, the quality is there, so it's not a quality issue.
No,
we know what the game is. We know it's a high quality game. We know it's one of the better games ever made.
No,
so quality's not the issue.
Now, keeping in mind with the sale of this new edition for Series S, X, and PS5, and obviously it'll be available for Steam as well. The touting point for, if I can word it that way, for Bethesda is that with the purchase of it, a shit ton of Creation Club content will be made available to you at no extra charge when you buy it or whatever.
Which is nice.
But it's still the same fucking game, just with all this fake faux DLC. It's not DLC, it's mods, but it's not mods. Whatever the fuck is going on, Bethesda.
No, they've just been trying to think of ways to sell you the same game repeatedly. That's all this is.
Yeah, and this is just another way to do that. To add their Bethesda-sanctioned mods.
Yeah, it's hilarious. To add to the list of already versions of this game that have been sold to us.
In other words, to me, this is coming across as their latest attempt to basically sell mods to you. Is what this feels like right now.
Yeah, well.
Because keep in mind, they tried to do that with Steam. Steam took it down because it got downvoted into oblivion by Steam users. Then Creation Club came along. And now this.
One thing I'll never do, though, is I can't bash them for not being clever. Because as stupid as it is, people buy it. And I can't bash anybody for selling what people buy.
And there's one more...
If people want to buy something,
yeah,
more power to them if they want to sell it.
And speaking of buying it, there is one more note that I have on it. It's supposedly supposed to be coming to Game Pass as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Don't know how the fuck that's going to work with all of the buy it, get the Creation Club stuff. Well, if you don't buy it, if you just download it on your Series S here, like I have, from Game Pass, what the fuck does that mean then for all the Creation Club shit then? At that point.
I guess it's just a bunch of people buying another copy. Or downloading another copy.
Well, if you download it without buying it from Game Pass, that's one thing. But if you spend like the $60, $40, or $50, or whatever the fuck dollars it'll be for a physical copy, forgive me, but I think you're an idiot. And this is coming from someone who has bought versions of Skyrim like 8-9 times already. So think about that for a minute, motherfuckers.
Fool me 9 times, shame on them. Fool me 10 times, shame on me.
Well,
right.
I think the saying for me should be, if you fooled me 9 times, I'm never going to get fooled again, so go fuck yourself.
Oh, God. It's funny. But it's not something I can't sit here and say, oh, you know, how dare you, Todd Howard, you jerk you. Because, again, people will buy it.
I'm not chastising them.
Like, here's what he could do. This would be hilarious, but it would prove my point. He could release a collector's set or like 8 different new cover arts for the game, and each one of the cover arts would all be bought up. Like collector's items.
I will say this about Skyrim. Excuse me. 10th anniversary edition at this point. If it winds up being graphically the same as the Xbox One PS4 version, then I will have two things for Bethesda, Todd Howard, and because they're owned by Microsoft, Phil Spencer at that point too will have to be dragged into this. I will have two things to show them.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce them to Tweety and to Woodpecker, if you will. Two birds that I can show them.
Yeah. Your two bird friends.
Yeah. Which I've shown before here on the podcast.
Honestly,
to greedy fucks.
People are treating this is the weird thing. People are treating the game like the game it's in and of itself like game memorabilia. Like we used to do with other games.
Yeah.
But now we're treating new copies of the game like it's game memorabilia.
Which is fucking stupid.
So, I wanted some more content for the game, so I bought another copy. It's basically what everybody's doing now in Skyrim.
Yeah. But with that being said, speaking of new things, Call of Duty Vanguard comes out this Friday, and according to this advertisement on the main page on Xbox One, pre-order and pre-download and play November 4th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it could be playable as early as tomorrow evening for if you've pre-ordered it, like I did for Xbox Series S. And because it's the cross-gen bundle, I also get the Xbox One version for free at that point. But which means that I will be playing it on Friday, no sooner, on live stream on my Twitch channel of Drew_dat_games. So go follow the Twitch channel, see me playing Vanguard on Friday on Twitch. So anything you want to say going into Call of Duty Vanguard when it comes out Friday?
Well, I can't say anything about the game itself quite yet. Obviously, it ain't out. So.
But your expectations for what you're gonna see in my stream.
I don't know what's left for them to do with the series. I really don't. Because, they've gone to every length and every end one could possibly go to with war games. With the Call of Duty series, this is a dog that's been beaten so far into a pulp that this is like dog hamburgers at this point. And, okay, granted, it's a new game. Ooh, it's a new Call of Duty, everybody. And it's become I guess almost annual staple for people, almost like Madden. But I just I don't know, very tepid on the entire series at this point because I feel like it's a grandfather of a game series at this point. Like people who started playing the original game, like myself,
okay,
are practically, grandchildren, or could have grandchildren playing this new one now. It's been that long.
Okay, yeah. So I just brought up on my computer like a description of the time frame or when Vanguard is supposed to take place. Now I know you guys can't see it for the show, but I'm just going to read what I'm looking at right here. So this reads as follows. When does Call of Duty Vanguard take place? Although we don't know an exact time frame for when the events of Vanguard's campaign will unfold, we know that the game is set in the era of World War II. This places it somewhere between September 1st, 1939 and September 2nd, 1945. So we're going back to World War II then.
Yeah, then when did we leave it? I'm kidding. But the most beaten to a pulp plot in the most beaten to a pulp war in the most beaten to a pulp game series.
Yeah, so
I mean, I could be excited. I guess I could try, but why?
well, we'll see because I'm gonna be playing on Twitch and I'm gonna be starting with the campaign. So, which
I mean,
is what
they're
I
gonna have to
generally
come
play
up with
Call of Duty
something.
for anyway.
They're gonna have to come up with something very interesting if it's going to maintain anything we might call originality.
Well, we'll see.
Because that World War II has been talked to death.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of them doing with it is relaying it to modern politics, like every woke video game developer does today anyway.
Yeah.
Just doing the woke bullshit of saying, hey, look, everybody, the Nazis are around today, see? Without any logic to that point.
Yeah. So my expectations are simply this.
By revising essentially the historical references of the original war.
Yeah.
That coming from a mile away.
Yep. So my expectations going into it are simply this. They're very, very low.
Game developers have no concept of what World War II was even about.
Especially when one writer who is now supposed to be working on Knights of the Old Republic remake with Aspire Media for Sony and the PS5 worked as a writer for this game. So I have low expectations, as in I'm expecting at some point the campaign to irritate me much like Battlefield 5 did.
Yeah.
Those are my expectations going into it.
Yeah, no, logic will be left in the dust. It always is in new games.
Yeah, so
AAA games made by big developing companies are either woke as shit and they're unplayable because they've left reality in the dust, or they are a complete insult to the gamer that's playing, because of reasons.
Yeah. So those are my expectations. I'm expecting this thing to not really hold my attention for longer than like one stream or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of streaming,
I can imagine I would probably want my money back if I did end up giving them my money to begin with, which I'm not.
Yeah. But with that said, speaking of streaming, this is the streaming schedule for YouTube and Twitch as I currently intend it based on my working hours at work at this point. So Sundays will be for Assassin's Creed, regardless of what game I'm working on from the series. Currently, I don't have anything planned for Twitch on Mondays at this time, but that is obviously subject to change. For YouTube, Horizon Zero Dawn, and trying to play through that before Forbidden West comes out next year. Tuesdays will be for strictly Elder Scrolls games, so Tuesdays after work, so that means either ESO, which is Elder Scrolls Online, or continuing my playthrough on Skyrim with mods on Xbox. Wednesdays, so I will be live today on Twitch playing through something from my backlog, or Call of Duty Vanguard, once that's out, will actually be played on Wednesdays if I wind up continuing through that on stream. Fridays will be Far Cry 6, or, when it comes out, Forza Horizon 5. And Saturdays will be Star Wars Saturday. So that's either Knights of the Old Republic 1 from the original Xbox, or any Star Wars game that I have to work my way through. So with that being said, as far as today's stream, after this is uploaded, I will be live on Twitch playing what? I don't know. I'm going to have to look through my backlog and see what I feel is safe to stream at that point. But when I say backlog, that could mean like anything. That could be a Star Wars game, that could be Battlefield Hardlines, that could be Assassin's Creed, that could be just pretty much anything that I just want to try to get through at that point. But the other days are specifically for those games at that point. Wednesday is just a bonus stream day at this point. Speaking of which, going live tomorrow here on this channel will be the last time that I streamed playing Far Cry 6 on Twitch. That goes live on the channel tomorrow, and then the next day is the end of that stream, because for whatever reason the stream cut for whatever reason, so I decided to try to end it the best way I could, but the camera wasn't working, so I did the best I could with like the last 15 minutes, which will go live on Friday here on this channel, which we'll release for you guys to watch here. So
Yep.
That's all I have at this point. Do you have anything else?
No, nothing game related, that's for sure. I mean, it's really been a slow week, and that presentation didn't really change anything much.
Yeah. With that being said, we can briefly discuss, if we want to, anything further going into the November 15th 20-year anniversary event for the Xbox that Microsoft's going to be doing. To close this out, if you want. So, by that point, Forza... When is the actual release date for Forza Horizon 5? Let me look that up. Here quickly. November 9th. Okay, so that's in 6 days. So that's actually next week. Lovely. Oh, I'm going to be busy next week too then.
Yeah.
So, this Friday's Call of Duty. Next Tuesday, I guess, is Forza. Fuck. So, that will already be out by the time they do their events. So, that means that all that will be left for them to really do anything with is Halo.
Yep.
Unless there's going to be another Gears game coming, which I'm not too wild on, given the fact that 5 was a little lackluster. I say a little because I still like it, but it doesn't live up to 1, 2, and 3 for me at this point.
Yep.
Even though I still gotta finish playing it, which that'll probably be what I do because that's in the backlog at this point. Yeah, so I might as well just do that on stream after this. But beyond Halo, what else are you expecting from Microsoft on the 15th?
Oh, I don't know what to expect from them. I guess my expectations are a little higher, though, than they were for Sony.
Yeah,
Sony.
because Avowed is coming at some point in the future, so is a new Fable. So is Starfield next winter. So basically, a year from now.
Way off on that one. Yeah.
But still, we still haven't seen actual gameplay of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the industry has really kind of hung up the phone on 2021. You know.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll talk to you next year, everybody. Have a good night. Is basically the way this year is ending.
Well, it's going to be busy throughout November for me between Forza Horizon 5, playing that online with people from my community, and COD Vanguard, and probably playing that online after the campaign probably has pissed me off.
Yeah, which is inevitable.
More than likely. But we'll see what happens. But beyond that, there's obviously always the chance at like something surprising us. Like, for example, we have not seen shit since the Game Awards in 2019. since the initial reveal of what the Series S and X looked like, or the X rather, and then followed up with a game announcement of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. We haven't seen shit since 2019 of that game. If we don't hear anything there, I'm going to consider that game in development hell at that point.
Yeah, they shouldn't really be dragging on too many years.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years is okay. It happens, but if it starts to get into the 3+ range, then you're like, okay, what's going on?
That's...
And, you know, once they go past 4 and 5 years, you're like, okay, is it even happening?
That's one of the downsides for me one of the things that I hate about the gaming industry is, yeah, we as consumers want to hear that you're working on a game before it comes out. But then there's announcing a game like 2, 3, 4, 5 years before it comes out, before it will ever be ready. And that's too fucking far.
Yeah.
Because
then you get everybody anticipating it, and you're nowhere near done. It's like, I don't know, self-imposed deadlines.
No,
they almost never happen in the gaming industry.
As much as some people are probably going to disagree, my point of view is this: the best company, or not really the best company at this point, but the best scenario that I've ever seen in the game industry was before Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, when they announced, for example, Fallout 4. The announcement of that was one of the best things that I've seen in gaming. In that, they announced it at E3 in June, and then it was out that November, effectively. So June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months later, it was out. That's how you do a game announcement. Announce it 5 months before it comes out. Therefore, in its initial announcement, you're announcing the release date, and you're getting it out the door in 5 months. After having been working on it since, like, the release of the previous game that you just finished, which at that point was Skyrim in 2011. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That was 4 years of development. And during the 4th year of development was when you announced it was coming that year. That's how you do it, gaming industry. Not what's that?
Leave people hanging on an announcement that you're developing a game, and then half their life later, you're like, oh, by the way, we finally finished it.
Except for also during that time, Bethesda fans, which I still am to a degree at this point, and I'm sure Desert Nord is too still, right?
Yeah.
But we all knew Fallout 4 was coming. It was the worst secret in the internet, but it was not officially announced until it was about to come out. Bethesda literally went radio silent for like 3.5 years.
Honestly, the weight on it is like, it's like if your significant other was like, I'm going to make dinner next week.
Well, how is that helping tonight?
Yeah, but like, if I was hungry right now, that literally doesn't do me any good. Well, thanks for the notification.
And then that's when you should come out. All right, you're going to make dinner next week? Like a week from tonight? Okay. Then I'm going to make you breakfast two weeks from tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the point of them doing it is, aside from trying to build up hype. And hype is normal.
Yes, it is.
People who get told, think about what the type of hype you're generating. They have to really think about this. The type of hype you generate by saying, oh, by the way, we have been secretly, without telling you, developing a game that you've pretty much definitely want to play, and we're about to release it shortly here. And this is the first time we're telling you about it. That's where hype explodes into complete fervor, and everyone wants to buy the game, which is, I think, what they want, right?
Yeah, but
Whereas if they do it the other way, what they end up with is people get exhausted waiting, and they give up on even giving a damn. By the time it actually comes out, they're like, yeah, this game that I was told about 4 or 5 years ago that I was excited to play, and now I'm like, oh my god, finally, but it's like kind of way below my expectations.
But to be fair, there are some people who, when they realize, yeah, it is actually coming out like next week, some people's hype come back. But for people like me, that is a lot harder to feel again, for me at least.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm overly cynical these days about pretty much everything. Because
it's just a
of
matter
how things have gone before.
The whole thing is essentially like a masterclass in what you're supposed to do in advertising.
Yeah,
and I don't understand why everybody in the advertising department is basically not capable of doing proper advertising.
Yeah, it seems like the ones in the advertising side of the gaming industry for all these companies did not go to class for advertising 101.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, it's just baffling to me. It's I don't even know if I can come up with an analogy for it. It's crazy. It's self-defeating. It's purposeless. It's destructive to the end result of the sales of your product. Why would you bother to tell people about a game that you're just now starting to develop? It's not coming out anytime soon, but let's mention it anyway because reasons.
It's one thing to talk about a game system like 2 years out from launch. That's one thing, right?
Yeah.
Because game systems are like once in like every 7-year release. That's a whole nother story.
With systems, it's a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, when a new system comes out, it's supposed to shift the entire focus of every gamer's, interests.
And game developers' capability of what they can do as well.
And that's no small matter in regards to gaming. That's always been the big events. The biggest events have always been console releases or platform changes.
Mm-hmm.
But individual games don't deserve that kind of impact per se. They have cultural impact, but they shouldn't have they shouldn't talk about it like, oh, this game is about to revolutionize gaming. It's like, it's a game on a current platform we already know of. What are you talking about?
And a lot of us have at the time when it came to Xbox One.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to current gen, not a lot of people have it because retailers don't give a fuck. But on the upside of that, I did recently see at Target that Series S's are on store shelves now. So, as I said to some people at work that I was going to say on YouTube when I brought this up, Microsoft is now having their stuff on store shelves at Targets and retailers now. Albeit the Series X isn't there because there's none available. But the Series S's are there because no one really wants those. Right?
Yeah. There's a serious preference difference between the two.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we're seeing Xbox on store shelves. PlayStation's not. So I say to you, Sony, your move. Nord, anything else to add?
Yeah. Going to a store for looking for an X and only finding S's. And it's like going to a grocery store looking for, milk, and all you can find is cheese. It's not a substitute.
Well, it's a better substitute than leaving with nothing.
You'll have something versus nothing, but it's not the something that it's no substitute.
I do have a Series S, and I do agree with you on that. It's not the same as an X, because if it were, I would have been doing unboxing of physical next gen games. But because this is digital only, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So it does take away from a lot of things that you can do with games, being digital only, which I hate digital only. And I'm a Series S owner, so take that for what it's worth, everybody. Which means that at some point in the future, even though I have a Series S, I still am going to get a Series X at some point in the future because I still want one of those. But that's not going to be till after I'm in Arizona at that point. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And same thing goes if I even give a shit to touch a PS5, which I highly doubt. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough to find one. That's the first hurdle. And even if you do, then there's like, I guess, elation, but
well now it's going to be easier with them physically on store shelves in the case of Xboxes. So that's going to help a lot with trying to get one, because that means you shouldn't, unless retailers are still being big assholes like Target has been lately, with making you go, you can't come in and buy it, you have to order it online first, then you come and get it. If they're still doing that, then go fuck yourself, Target and other retailers. And that's all I have to say about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that rant out of the way, and that all out of the way, anything else we can think of before we start winding this down?
Yeah.
Anything else that you might have?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, it was a slow week, and there wasn't a whole lot to find.
And we still squeezed about an hour out of this, and when it's all said and done with the outro, it'll be about an hour. So
yeah.
So we squeezed an hour out of not having anything.
No, it wasn't nothing. It's just that it's a slow week.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot to talk about.
And I even forced in talking about a preview for a game, which I normally don't do.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And also talking about the streaming schedule. But with that being said, what are you going to be up to after this, other than playing Elder Scrolls Online?
Well, I was playing Super Animal Royale a little more. I was starting to get into that a little more.
Yeah.
Finally got some achievements on that. Takes a little while to get your first achievements there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know me at this point. I mean, I'm still grinding through Elder Scrolls Online.
In my case,
which takes years, honestly. Yeah. It takes years to really, really play the game.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna once this is done uploading, I will then go live on my Twitch channel playing something from my backlog. I'll figure out what that's gonna be. I'm leaning towards an older game at this point, but we'll see what happens. On my luck, I'll probably just wind up choosing to go with Gears 5 just to finally try to get through that. Because that's like a play through the story and be done with it thing for me.
Yep.
At this point. And yes, it does have a multiplayer, but no one really plays that for the multiplayer, so all that much. So I'll probably wind up doing that. But I'm definitely going to be live on Twitch, so just stay tuned for that. As of right now, it's 12:36 p.m., so by the time you guys are seeing this, I will be live on Twitch by the time any of you are seeing this, or the Twitch stream is already over at that point.
Yep.
But beyond that, I'm gonna, after that, probably go to bed because I have to be at work at about 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, so.
Yep.
So yeah, so I'll have to be doing that at that point, potentially. But with that being said, that's the current plan for the rest of the day. I did put up my Christmas tree the other day, because it is November now. And I do that because I'm single and there isn't a lady around to tell me, you should wait till after Thanksgiving. I put up my Christmas tree whenever the fuck I want, so.
Yeah.
And you guys will see that in the background since I moved the cameras back to the bigger screen over here, as you guys can see up there. So you guys will be seeing the Christmas tree in the background streams again, so.
Yep.
With that said, since it's November, have yourself, guys, happy November, happy Thanksgiving, and all of that once we get to that point.
Yeah.
And otherwise, a good holiday season, and I hope you guys had a good Halloween and whatnot as well. With that being said, who dat? This is Drew Dat Games, Desert Nord. Go follow him on his Twitch channel. Play games on it.
Yeah. YouTube is a little more active at the moment, but yeah, I'll get up and going.
And go subscribe to Drew Dat Games. Fuck, Desert Nord on YouTube for his memes.
Yeah.
As well as Drew Dat Entertainment for our political takes on things, which we did do Breaking Rocks on Monday, so that's up. Go check that out. And go follow the Twitch channel, like I said earlier, to catch me playing games. Like I will be live in just a little bit. So, with all that being said, we will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.
Yep. See you guys.